Welcome to Of Nights and Gnats, where last time our intrepid adventurers, I had flatlined, scrambled to defeat the gnomish cleaning bots that had assembled themselves into dangerous enemies using the bones of what appeared to be fallen gnomes. It was a harrowing battle that the party nearly fled from when, at last, a stroke of genius by the wizard Ren, he used water to deactivate an alarm that was summoning some additional foes. Afterward, they convened within the large mushroom domicile that the gnomes typically reside in, and they took rest for the night, during which Seth tried to convince Bookworm to find him new clothes, resulting in the Nothic gleaning a secret from him. Ren felt the call of his mother from an unknown direction and source that he could not sense but knew to not be real, and the party then rested. Kevin restored Ren's health. He had a disease from the previous episode in which he had taken a strike from the rotting tail of a bizarre creature that he had to do battle with alone. The party then traveled to the top of the mushroom in which Ren's childhood home was. They found some threads and supplies and a letter from Ren's mother, Nixim, waiting for Ren on the bed. It was hurtful, pain-filled letter, and it reminded Ren that he had never lived up to his mother's expectations. Also, that she's kind of a bitch. The party gathered their things and departed for the central stock, where they had met the dancing gnomes 2 episodes ago, all of which who perished due to some unforeseeable circumstances and tentacles coming down from the ceiling. Kevin had healed Ren of his wounds. The party then combed over the penthouse until a tendril swept in and nearly threw Thok from the window. They managed to cut that tentacle that had come down from the ceiling, and they had inspected it, revealing that the fleshy tentacle was more than meets the eye, that the sinew and meat within it was laced with wires and mechanical guts. So, before we begin the true session, we are going to have a quick narrative. And this is just a continuation of the backstory of Ren, our gnome, who is currently in his homeland, and he is, well, hoping to save his people, or what hopefully remains of his people. So, everyone, if you can join the stream in Discord and mute yourselves, and give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if there's any issues. And we will get this rolling. Waiting for one more person, I think. There we go. The GCMC, or Gloaming Center for Magical Cataloging, was a cold place. Ren was sure to note that it wasn't actually physically cold, but that there was a clinical detachment to the decor and personnel within it. It was the polar opposite of Segojan's temple. Where there had been warmth, embraces, and hot food, there was now quiet stillness of study and stale coffee. Everybody rushed. They rushed to their offices, they rushed to the auditoriums that housed cutting-edge procedure, they rushed to meet deadlines. It was taking Ren some getting used to, but his curiosity wouldn't let him falter. After all, the reason he was here was to ensure the survival of something more precious than even his faith. It was to preserve the mind of someone that made life viable. Ren sat in one of those cold and rushed offices. Gnomes milled about with their faces buried in books and papers, yelling over their shoulders to one another with pieces of information and conversation that might as well have been coded unless you had a degree in their business. He was sweating from the concentration of his task, huddled over a desk, muscles in his neck strained and burning. "What do you think you're doing?" snapped Nixim. Ren's mother stood over him, watching him in a manner more akin to a tired sibling than a mother or an instructor. "You need to split the threads of magic, splice them, not butcher them and fray their ends. You are more clumsy than your father." Ren suddenly missed Avi and Brock more than ever. But comfort was a small price to pay if it meant success. He also missed praying for magical success. Channeling the magic through the faith you held in the deity was so blissfully simple. But he was finding himself relishing the challenge of guiding magic himself. There was a certain sense of accomplishment from connecting the threads of magic and guiding them through your focus with emotion and concentration. And Ren was starting to see magic in another light. More possibilities opening up to him, more paths to explore and hopes to hold. His mother's berating had once made him decide to abandon the family business, but this time it would only spur him on, even if it was just to spite her. "One day you might actually accomplish something, but not today," Nixon hissed. "Put the rope away, Ren. We'll finish later. And don't you dare lose it between now and then." Ren tucked the rope of climbing he was enchanting under an arm and departed. He looked out over the electrified fence-enclosed grounds and the deep trench the monstrous building resided in. It was a hellish little valley full of sulfuric vents. A river poured down from above, and steam came up from whatever it was cooling down in those holes. That steam powered the academy above and most all of Gloamlight. He truly did love the ingenuity of his people. A distant thought in his mind made him wonder what would happen if something to that river happened and it stopped flowing. All right. Oh. When last we met, our adventurers were in the top of the central stock in the residential quarters of Gloamlight, and Thok had nearly just been thrown out the window to a very possibly his death. It is a very long fall. However, the party did manage to intervene, slicing that tentacle that had gripped him, and then you guys had just investigated it, and you're all still up in in the side of the upper residential room in which the dancing gnomes had been. There's probably still some lights on. It looks like you guys had left in a hurry the previous time you were there. So what would you all like to do?
We just learned that the tentacles were robotic, right?
You have definitely learned that there are robotic bits inside the tentacles.
Okay. Who saw that? Was it just Thok?
I don't recall specifically who made the check, but you're all kind of huddled around it, I think, at this point.
Okay.
So whoever wants to lead an investigation at this point is more than welcome to. I would say it's pretty easy to see that there are like wires and such spliced out. Understanding the nature of the tentacle and how things are formed together would be a check.
Okay. Well, this is a curious development here. I thought we were facing some massive single creature, but it looks like more than that.
Why do your people have mechanical tentacles in the ceiling?
I've never seen this tentacle before. The robots down below, I'd seen those are kind of cleaning robots, but this is something else.
Do you know what purpose it would serve? It dragged us out to cattle pens before.
Its purpose seems only to snatch gnomes and things from above. I don't know. I can't imagine something like this being served for a noble purpose. I mean, it was trying to kill us multiple times.
Do you think this is something that your people had created?
Oh, well, I can't imagine something like this being built in the time that I left to come back here. This is massive, and, I don't want to go out and look for fear of seeing another one of these things. But let's examine this one here.
I'll look.
Okay.
Kevin approaches the tentacle.
Yeah.
Bookworm also approaches the tentacle, but he's not really looking at it. He's just mimicking you from behind, Kevin.
Okay. I want to touch it.
Okay. How do you touch it?
Real good.
Describe for me how you touch
it. All of it. I want to touch all of it.
All right. Kevin begins to massage the tentacle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Make an investigation or nature check. Nature would be more to discover how the tentacle is sort of put together or interacting with the elements within. The investigation check would again be a kind of try and decide what those individual elements within the tentacle are.
Okay, it's an 18 nature or a 16 in investigation. So I'll go with nature.
Okay. I mean, both checks are pretty solid for something like this. But if you're going with the nature, you can see that something within this is still living. You can see that the wires and the flesh that surrounds them appear to be in some sort of symbiotic relationship, that they are feeding each other. You're not sure if the wires are producing electricity and sharing it to the muscles surrounding, or if the surrounding muscles are feeding the wires. You can't tell, but it does not appear to be parasitic. I mean, you would certainly consider it parasitic if it occurred to you, but whatever stage this thing is in, it has passed beyond parasitic and entered into a new relationship with itself.
The robot and the tentacle are dating now.
Yes.
I think they love each other. They're holding hands on the inside part.
So it's part organic and part machine.
Kevin, you've spent many hundreds of years in the forest. Have you ever seen anything like this?
Half of it, not the part with all the shiny bits. These are different.
Okay.
Normally animals don't have this in them.
Okay. If I see a wire, can I pull on it and see what it's connected to?
Yeah, make a sleight of hand check.
It's a 12.
Okay. You are not as surgical as you would like to be. You kind of reach your fingers in like you're playing Operation, but you kind of gouge more muscle and fibrous, viscous, icky goopy, and you can feel it sort of mold around your fingers. But you do grab a wire. It's kind of like when you're eating like a rib and you get like that bit of sinew or like a vein or something. You feel it like slip and swirl out of your fingertips as you pinch, but you manage to grab it again and you yank it, and it tears itself all the way along the length of the tentacle. And as you do, you see that the flesh around it is sort of like the fibers are just like reaching out.
I think Gabe just turned half robot too. Can you give us that one more time with a little bit less robo inflection?
I can certainly try in the back.
So
Uh-oh. Is this my internet? I hope not.
Yours or mine?
It's actually kind of a cool, consistent effect now. It sounds like you have a voice changer on.
Hello, Ben. I am the of the future.
I don't know what it is. It sounds... It
I
is...
think it's Jason because I can hear it as well, but also on you, Ben.
I hear it on...
anyone you speak to.
I hear it on everybody now. We're just robo
Yeah,
mode. Do I have a filter on? No, I don't.
No, it's my internet's real bad right now.
There you go. Right there.
We're good?
Yeah.
Good.
All right. Comcast. Okay. So, I don't know what you heard last, but I described it as sort of when you're eating a rib and you reach in and you feel like a vein and it kind of like squirts out of your fingers, but you manage to re-grab it and you pull it the length of the tentacle and it sort of tears itself out. And it's definitely a wire, but the flesh around it immediately begins to like reach for it. Like the little tendrils and filaments of flesh that peel off of it are just like reaching out for it, and then they slowly die and wither.
Oh.
I'm gonna put this on the floor and back away a few steps and say I don't like this.
Did that wire seem to be of gnomish making?
Yes, we've seen other things like this. The robots from down below, it's similar construction, but this kind of melding with organic matter is new to me. I'm no expert in plant life, at least not yet, but yeah, I'm not sure what purpose this would serve. I will say we will find more answers at the Gnomish Center of Magical Cataloging if we want to go check there next.
That may be best.
I just love that that's the name of a thing that exists. The Gnomish Center of
The
Cataloging.
GCMC is what I've been calling it in my notes. All right. As the party begins to depart, if that's what you guys would like to do, I would like you all to make perception checks as you're leaving.
That's a 1.
Fuck, notices nothing.
12.
9.
18.
21.
Oh,
Hey.
all right. Drea and Seth, you both pause for a moment as you think you hear something squirming and skittering across the wooden floor. You look back, and the tentacle is gone.
The big boy tentacle?
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Oh, that's not good.
What's not good?
Shit. The big tentacle boy has left.
It is gone to go find its host and reconnect.
Strange. It looked like it had died.
Perhaps it is like a worm. When you cut it in half, the other half lives.
What if something else took it?
It was squiggling and worming away.
Okay.
Perhaps, but
Well, whatever it is attached to needs to be destroyed immediately. It is not built to see the new world. It's an abomination.
have you seen the ceiling on this place? It was wormy.
Yes. And it is our duty to make sure that that wormy thing ceases.
If it's an electrical source, there's got to be something powering it. I wonder what's powering it.
I would assume some sort of battery or something internal. If it's both organic and machine, it could be a heart, it could be electricity, it could be both.
It's true.
Is there a big source of power down here that you know of, Ren?
Gabe, would I know of anything down here?
You would. You know that there is mines in the northwestern quadrant of Gloamlight, and that there are 3 crystals that can be found there. You're not sure of the names of them. This wasn't really your technical place, but they are blue, yellow, and green. And you know that they have been used and ferried to a refinery nearby, just west of those pens. And in that refinery, you know that those crystals are used to be made into some sort of power cell that the gnomes were using, and that it powers a lot of things from that place. But you're not entirely certain whether or not that would be something that could funnel electricity or power up to the ceiling.
Okay. That's in some mines nearby?
Yeah. And as I mentioned in the narrative, you know that that was steam powered. So you know that the river has frozen, Agor Falls has ceased, and that the steam is no longer billowing from the Brimsink Trench, which means how could the refinery be powered?
Okay. Well, I'll just kind of relay some of this to the party. I do know there are some crystals that can be used as an energy source, but I'm really not an expert with either that or crazy robot tentacles. So
Perhaps we'll find more information at the GCMC.
yes, perhaps. I still think that's the best first place to head.
Let us not waste time.
Okay.
All right. So the party departs. You guys head back down the mushroom stalk, and you arrive down in the lobby. You can survey the place. It looks about the same. You head back out into the expanse of gloam light, and above, indeed, the ceiling still shines with its faux lights. And you can see in the distance towards the GCMC that there is that telltale sign of electricity sort of shimmering up and down that monstrous fence. You do, of course, also see the red glow to the northeast that I had mentioned you all seeing on your rest in the last session. And you know the direction of the pens in which various creatures were stored, slaughtered, and absconded with. And you are free to proceed as you please.
You guys good if we go toward the GCMC?
Let's go.
Mhm.
Okay.
All right. Ren, are you leading the way?
Yes.
Okay, you can have advantage on your survival check.
$19.
Okay. It is as you recall it. This is a path that you had taken many, many times in your youth. And you find the small pathway to the GCMC with ease, and it's almost like you've been walking this your whole life. You arrive before the monstrous fence, and thick twined barbed wire laced with the faint glow of lambent electricity arcs high into the cavern heights above the party's head. The sheen of electrical arcs blip and zip through the expanse of the metal network meant to keep intruders out. Or is it meant to keep things in? In the courtyard beyond the fence, a circular disc can be seen very similar to the ceaseless elevator. More alarmingly is the sight beyond. A crevice or chasm could be seen, and some strange red and orange angry glow appears to be spewing up out of it. Ren. You hear a voice. If you recall, during last episode, this was the direction that something was heard calling to you. I need a wisdom saving throw. As something assaults your senses of reality once again.
10.
Okay. Your mother is very clearly visible on the other side of the fence. She's calling out to you, Ren. She says, "You're never going to save this place. You're never going to amount to anything. You should get back to the GCMC and return to your duties." The madness save that you just failed means we have to roll on the madness table for Ren, as images of your mother berating you assault your mind.
Okay.
So bear with me one moment. This is something from the previous session that I forgot to have up. Roll a D100 in the meanwhile, the two D10s. And the party, I would like you all to make insight checks. This is sort of a passive insight, just to see if you note Ren's behavior before the madness strikes him.
6.
Okay.
18.
Okay.
21 again.
Damn.
6.
Okay. So Kevin and Drea, you both notice that Ren's behavior becomes extremely erratic, wonky. It looks like something passes over his face. What did you get, Bryce?
20 even.
20. All right. I need to roll a 1d10 for me.
Yeah.
So many
2.
dice.
2? Okay. Ren takes a step toward the electrical fence, and suddenly, Drea and Kevin, you notice him just gloss over. His face falls slack, his eyes just look into nothingness. Ren, you are paralyzed.
Did he
Okay.
walk into the fence?
No, but he walks up to it and then hears and sees his mother. Oh, of course, the party doesn't know that. And then that vision assaults his mind, and he becomes paralyzed with madness.
We're noticing this. Can I slowly walk over to him, just like cautiously, and try to like grab him and pull him back away from the fence?
Yeah, you can.
Kevin will
and he's-
also walk up to him less cautiously and try to hold his hand.
Okay. You can certainly hold his hand. It feels slack in yours, Kevin. Kevin reaches over and holds the hand. Dre, you are taller than Ren. Ren is a little gnome boy, so you can easily pull him away. Describe how you pull him though, because you're not really aware that he's paralyzed. If you pull him backwards, he's just gonna.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over and put my hands on his shoulder, or one hand on his shoulder, and just sort of gently like try to turn him around or tug him at all.
Okay. If you do so,
So
he.
maybe I'm putting both hands and pulling him back. I'll
Okay.
support his weight.
Okay. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what you need to do, because he begins to just sort of teeter over, as though he's fainted, but you can see clearly that he's still there. He can see. He just is almost catatonic.
Guys, we just lost our guide.
What
What
seems to be the matter?
I don't know, like just he's gone.
Can I make a medicine check on him to see if I can discern what's going on?
Absolutely.
Oh my god. 3. I've rolled a natural 1 and 2 natural 3 so far on things today.
Ooh.
Thok, you're pretty sure this is the effect of a man constipated beyond belief.
I don't think he's passed a stool in some time.
I mean, have any of us?
Wait, hang on. You keep track of our stool passings?
Listen, I see when one of you sneak out in the night and relieve yourselves. It's a habit. I need to make sure that everyone is safe.
He keeps a journal.
Fuck, is this why you take first watch every night?
I didn't expect it to be brought up like this.
What I do in the privacy of my own darkness is my own business, Thok.
I really like the idea of you casting darkness when you poop because you're shy.
No one looks in here.
Reminds me of that Rick and Morty episode.
Yeah.
Can
ahead.
Kevin also make a medicine check, or was that a 1 for?
Sure.
Okay. So I got a 22.
Okay. You realize that something has assaulted his mind temporarily. You think it will pass shortly, but he is totally paralyzed.
Not only has he not taken some stool time in some time, he also seems to have been attacked in his brain. But I think he'll be better in a little bit.
We can
Is
only
there-
hope so.
Happens to me all the time.
Drea?
Wait, hang on, back up. It happens to you all the time, Kevin?
Yeah, sometimes you're just sitting there and all of a sudden a voice comes in, you don't want to move for a little bit. I think he'll be okay. Just gotta sit him down. I'll have a berry ready for him when he's done.
Oh, that's so sad. Is Kevin depressed?
A voice sounds in your mind, Kevin. It says, I told you not to tell anyone.
Sorry.
And who are you
What's that?
apologizing to?
Uh-oh.
Tell them nothing. Make something up. Make it good, Kevin.
Kevin can't lie. Ah!
Kevin, do you need to relieve yourself? You're yelling.
Kevin goes over to this side, like into the little bushes. It's all he can think to do. He can't lie. He's just go over. He's gonna try to make himself go to the bathroom.
Kevin retreats. Kevin turns beet red, goes like he's trying to turn Super Saiyan, and then runs off to the bush.
I've seen this before. In fact, I have a catalog that it's pages.
I think this is what
Yes.
Gabe had in mind.
6 weeks ago.
It hasn't been since I introduced old Greg. Something happened to us.
It's a very serious moment. Ren's paralyzed with visions of his abusive mother.
Talking about poop.
We're pooping in the bushes.
Okay, Ren, your eyes snap open after the 2 minutes of your madness subside. In that time, though, Nothic, Bookworm, he looks at you, Kevin, as you race off to the bushes, clutching your behind or stomach, perhaps. And
I mean, Kevin doesn't have to use the restroom. He's going to try to make it happen, though, so he doesn't have to lie to anybody.
Yeah. The Nothic is curious, and he attempts to do his weird gaze and glean this secret from you.
Okay.
So I need a charisma deception check from Kevin. Not that you're being deceptive, it's just how the book calls for it, against his insight. And it's not great.
Deception. Oh.
Wow.
Okay, I got a 16.
Yep. The Nothic is unable to discern your secret. I'm not sure if Kevin would really know if this was occurring, but you can tell that Bookworm's giving you a very quizzical look. But if there was any sense that he was trying to peer within you, it fades.
Is this out of sight? Like, could I see him doing that? Because he did to me already.
Yeah, I would say it's pretty apparent, but I think you're all kind of just watching Kevin at this point, kind of looking at him in the same way.
Privacy,
But yeah,
please.
It might be. Sorry. All right, Ren, you have awoken. You are seated. There's maybe a berry. Kevin, did you leave him a berry?
I left him a berry, yeah.
Okay. Oh, I feel better. I don't know what happened.
He's back.
I've seen these symptoms before. Sometimes it happens if you haven't pooped in some time. Was that the case?
I don't think so.
Oh,
At least not
I've been
this
wrong.
time. I saw. Did you guys all see my mother, a gnome? She was on the other side of the fence yelling at me.
No.
We heard no such yelling.
Okay. The last I remember, she was yelling at me, telling me I wouldn't amount to anything, and I don't remember anything other than that.
This might be when we were in Sega John's temple, and you thought everything was intact when in fact it was a ruin.
Yeah. Maybe it's best that I don't lead going forward.
Yes, we still need your direction, though. If this is indeed from the same source, would there be a hidden message like your last weird fire smoke thing?
Good question. Would I have remembered anything I saw from this image
The image of Nixon.
of my mother? Yeah.
Not in particular. I would say that she is the spitting image of the Nixon that you remember from your worst memories of instruction and tutelage. You know, just generally how you envision your mother in your mind.
Okay.
But yeah, it's definitely like a preserved thing from your memory.
Okay. Nothing specific of a message like we saw before. Just very convincing. I could have sworn she was standing right over there, and I don't know.
Bryce, make a history check for me.
28.
Okay. So the first vision that you received attempted to glean something that would bring you peace or happiness, as though to feed off of it. Mm-hmm. And after your meeting with that strange goat-headed creature, you did give him one piece of information, that the thing you hate is being controlled. You think perhaps that the information you gave that creature is being used against you now. Mm-hmm. As though something is taking a different tactic with you.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll just tell the group that.
Okay.
Well, there was that servant of the tentacle, or maybe Tantalus, or the lord down here who I met, and I think tried to convince me to give myself up. At first it was using things I liked. Now it seems to be using my fears and things I don't like. And, well, now I wish I would have taken the former rather than the latter, but here we are.
Perhaps it's trying to dissuade us from pursuing our goal of getting into the GCMC. This might not be a bad thing. It's bad that it's happening to you, but perhaps we're on the right track and it is trying to stop us.
Maybe the closer we get, the more we'll see.
Look on the bright side, Ren. If it was a pile of books on the other side of that fence, you probably would have made a beeline for it and burned up on it.
That's true, Bookworm.
Yeah.
Okay, so, do I have any knowledge of, is there a gate or door that we're seeing through here?
Yeah, traditional gate. It is closed, however. Make an investigation check if you would like, and describe how you investigate it. Because it's almost seamless. It's very fine Gnomish craftsmanship. It's wide enough and tall enough that it would allow like small vehicles to pass through, such as carts or something of that nature, not necessarily like Gnomish tanks. You're not sure how advanced their military technology is. However, despite its size and you knowing the location, it's still very difficult to find. It's almost like Gandalf trying to find his way into the mines of Moria. It's just very well crafted. But you do find it, and it does appear to still have the electrical current flowing through it.
Okay.
And you know that it's typically opened from the inside. There's a small outpost just beyond the fence that you can see, but it is unmanned.
Okay. Well, if you guys see over in the distance, there's the little outpost there. Typically has someone who lets the gate up and drops the electricity so people can pass in.
How tall is this fence?
Make a perception check.
7. It's not a good day.
You're just having a rough day.
It's about yay high.
Well, stone's throw.
Yeah, it's about a stone's throw, you think. You can't see the end. You see electrical currents arcing up into the darkness and beyond. So you know it's tall, but... Also, Ren, you know that this is a highly secure place. So you've never seen anyone attempt to teleport through it?
Okay.
I don't know if you can hear that buzzing. That's our dryer.
Okay. Well, we've got to find a way to get through here.
Is there an electrical supply that you would know of?
Well, there's an off switch in that outpost over there, I think. At least that's where the control is. But it's on the other side of the fence.
I wonder if I could shoot the fence with lightning and see if I could overload the switch.
If we all stand back, maybe it's worth a try.
Sure. Stand back, stand back. Watch me work my magic. And then I'll shoot a lightning bolt at the fence, trying to overload the system.
Bookworm shuffles back with the party and covers his face in his crotch. as is standard NPC procedure when you guys do anything.
I thought you said and covers his face with his crotch, and I'm like, Gabe, what, where did we go with this?
We're going off the rails, man. You fire off your lightning bolt? Is that what you're doing?
Lightning bolt.
Okay. The lightning arcs forward, slamming into the fence, shimmering outward, and coalescing in this sort of beautiful pattern that just arcs out and out and out. And then it begins arcing back in with lightning ferocity, showering back out at the party. I need everybody to make Constitution saving throws,
Oh, balls.
Hey.
Oh, no. No.
including
no.
poor Bookworm.
9.
10.
20.
Scott, what is your spell save DC and roll damage for me, please?
Spell save DC is 15, and I'll get that quick.
All right, so the DC is 15. If you're over that, you save. If you're under that, you fail.
It's half.
Roll low. Roll low.
Again, this is like kind of like Men in Black when they try and go in and they just shoot the door. Because like Ren, you wouldn't know anything about the security parameters of this place, but it's on par with like the CIA or like the headquarters of Advanced Defense Research, like NORAD or something.
Okay.
Before he does that, when the lightning arced across, did it go like in a sphere dome shape, or did it just go around?
So it hits the fence and then it stopped, so it didn't pass through the fence, and it went out like an irradiating circular pattern.
Okay.
And then it came back really quickly. It forged into a pinpoint where it had landed and fired back. However, it did arc out and try and hit everyone, sort of like a chain lightning effect.
What's the damage?
It's 24 damage, 12 if you saved at 15.
Okay, so it's halved though, again. So if you saved, you only take a quarter of the damage. If you failed, you take
Okay.
half. Because it's hitting everyone, whereas it really should only be hitting like a line of one person.
Say, if we
Okay.
could get Scott to hit for that much damage every time we use that spell in combat, that'd be great.
Yeah, he crushed that one monster that one time with it.
Yeah.
What was that, like 40 damage?
I did I think it was like 40 something.
Yeah.
I cast at level 4.
That one time.
Yeah. I say actually
Sorcerer life.
pretty low for that one.
That's good.
Jeez. Seth, don't do that again.
Listen, man, I'm not a scientist. I'm a man of religion. I don't know these things. I tried.
Yeah, I did tell you to try. Just don't do it again.
Yeah, fair enough. At least I know what it feels like when I shoot these things at monsters that I want to die.
Bookworm is on the ground in the fetal position.
Go over and just pat him on the back, like, you okay, buddy?
It made me tingle all over.
Is he like dying dead? Or just not looking?
He doesn't need death saves quite yet, but he is not in good shape.
He's heightened.
It's like, I can go on.
I've seen.
Kevin, do you have those berries on you still?
Yes. Kevin, give him a berry.
Thanks, Kevin. At least you give me food.
And then he glares at Seth.
I've seen magic folk teleport before. Is anyone here capable of that feat?
I can do something called a Misty Step. But I'm not sure that I'd be able to pass through this barrier.
I can cast Blade.
If it was that easy, I think more people would do it. Seth, there's a possibility this barrier extends into the ethereal plane.
That's what I'm thinking. Usually when I pass into the ethereal plane, everything is as it is, just very wispy, black and white. Awesome.
Bookworm gets up off the ground, munching on his berry, and he inches over to Drea, and he says,
I can tell you a secret about how I got out.
Got out?
That's where I was held.
In there.
Huh? That's where I don't want to go back.
Right. Your secret would be greatly appreciated. That much I can say.
Okay, but you have to give me a secret of yours.
Okay.
all right.
Well,
He looks you in the eye. Make a charisma deception check.
I was gonna give it freely, but old poo
I know. He needs assurances. This is against his persuasion.
You said a deception, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's a 6.
Okay. The Nothic peers into your eyes. You can message me in Discord one secret about Drea that she would like to give the Nothic.
Okay.
He peers into your eyes, and you can feel him gazing at this naked memory of yours. And after he does so, he leans forward and he whispers in your ear, and he says,
I used the tentacle.
I'm picking up feedback from someone.
Me, probably.
Okay. Yeah, it's a,
What do you mean you used the tentacle?
I made a hullabaloo, and he came down and picked me up and made me his servant.
You made a whole what?
A hullabaloo.
That word. Yeah.
Yes. I was trapped. I couldn't get out. There was no one here. But it sensed my emotions. And the tentacles came, and they yanked me up. And they brought me out. And I was
Then what happened?
Trick him. I tricked him. Tantalus.
That's very useful for getting out of there, but I'm not so sure about in.
Well, it wasn't easy. He took me to this building with 4 big silos, and he tried to throw me in, and there was something inside. I think he wanted to feed me to it.
That's not good. Eren,
Yeah?
what buildings around here have silos in them?
The feed silos that we passed before? No, different?
those were just pens. There were no silos there.
Okay. Do I know of silos nearby?
You can. Well, let me say this. You would assume that there are some silos at the garden district, where all the farming's done in the northeast.
Okay.
But you're also aware that the refinery has some large turret-like structures that could be mistaken for silos. So
Okay.
you would think it's one of those two options.
Maybe it's in the agricultural area, or maybe it just looks like a silo, but could have a different function on the inside.
I never got in. I caught the edge as it tried to throw me in, and I escaped. That's when I left, and you found me.
Can I try to create a minor illusion on the other side of the fence of Bookworm? Can I just try to make a copy of Bookworm?
Sure. On the other side of the fence, though.
Yeah.
All right. As soon as you attempt to form the image of Bookworm with magic, it cuts off as though it's in an anti-magic field.
Okay. That was exactly my test. With no damage this time, and I'll wink at Seth.
Very similar to the lightning bolt just ending as soon as it hit that mark.
Okay. Well, that rules out blowing up the control tower on the other side with distance magic. and really doing much of anything there. Looking at the ground, does it look like we might be able to dig underneath this?
You're more than welcome to try. I mean, the fence definitely goes into the dirt.
True. Well, assuming this is Fort Knox-like, I doubt it'd be as simple as digging underneath as well. Well, what did the Nothic say about a silo nearby? There was some creature there. Oh, he was trying to avoid.
Yes, the tentacles in the ceiling are a good way to be transported, but you might get fed to something.
Yeah, just that.
Oh, that's quite a gamble to take.
Yep. I've been told I'm a snack.
Well, you
Well-
do like them a lot, so.
I do, especially books.
And he like licks his lips and he looks at Fox Poop Diary. That's a sentence I never thought I'd say.
Now
Do I
it's
see him
canon.
staring at it?
Oh yeah.
I like shift it deeper into my pack.
Okay.
Okay, so looking around the fence, it just looks like just a solid. There's no kind of openings or aberrations or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean it is very
Okay.
well constructed.
All right. Well, as much as I want to get us in here, there's nothing I can remember that might be a way just yet, at least. Anything that we just put at this magic field, it sends it right back. There may be another means.
Well, if this place is shut off, maybe we should head down to mining.
True. Maybe we can do something with the electrified crystals there.
I'm gonna say if you say the power comes from there, if we can shut off the power there, maybe it'll shut off the fence here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if that is indeed a power source, but I'm guessing GCMC has its own power source.
Well, I don't think we're getting in here anytime soon.
I think you're right.
Well, off to the mining.
How close are we to those silos in the agricultural area?
You're a little bit closer to the northeastern corner, the agricultural center. That is where you see that red glow from. But it wouldn't take you much longer to instead head to the northwest if you'd like. You're almost equidistant, but a little bit closer to the agricultural. Either way, you have to cross the Agor River. And then those pens where livestock or gnome stock were kept was kind of the middle point between the two. I think I described you being able to see both when you were there a couple sessions ago.
Well, I'm not down here by myself, so I'll put it to the group vote. I guess we kind of have two options here. We can either go to the mines or to the agricultural area.
Well, you said that glow above it isn't natural, so it might be worth checking out.
Indeed, yeah.
I'm fine for whatever gets us out of here quicker.
I'd agree.
Ren's going mad. Fox has a shit diary.
Is that like a shit list?
No, it's just a habit so that I can see when you all leave in the middle of the night. So if I wake up or somebody else wakes up, I just know not to panic.
Well,
Can you imagine-
Whatever you do, stay away from that book. It probably tastes like shit.
I won't know until I have it in my mouth.
Are you willing to take that risk, though, Bookworm?
Hi, Ben.
Yes.
I say we go.
Go where?
Exactly. I don't
To the
care.
I say we just go to the agricultural area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The latrines?
Well, when there's a glow, there's probably something going on there.
No, you guys are on to me. Gotta change my MO. All right. So if the party does head in that direction, you have to walk past the residential district again. You come to the River Agor, which is still frozen solid. So if you'd like, you can simply walk across it instead of traveling to one of the bridges. As you go, Bookworm is regaling Thok of his last 20 battle movements, trying to fit himself into your diary. That's just what's happening. You're not sure if it's legitimate because he wants you to take a notice or care of him, or if he just wants to watch you write in the book that he desperately wants to eat. However, you do cross the river, and it's been about an hour of walking through the Gloamlight. And whatever's going on, you do still see the yellow, green, and blue lights on the ceiling sort of shining down, those crystalline patterns and the various bioluminescences. And of course, the shadows in between that, if you look up, appear to be almost writhing. It's like silhouettes are cast over the edges of those light outcroppings as tendrils or tentacles of something perhaps moves across the ceiling. You're not sure if it's paranoia or simply what resides above. But an hour of walking in this sort of just uncomfortable, distrustful darkness, and you finally come to the agricultural district. And I have a description for this. Ren, you know these are called the Gardens, sort of colloquially by the gnomes, kind of affectionately. That's just like their term for it, even though it's not the official name. Rectangular and well-tended plots of vegetation run outward in lines for what seems like miles in the dim dark. Crops that glow can be seen dotting the landscape out beyond the party. The first of the crops to be encountered were lines and lines of small mushrooms. Surprisingly, they continued to look orderly and well cared for, as though a gardener had hidden away in the sparseness of the city and continued to tend for them. However, some of these crops appear to be growing and glowing various colors. Those colors are yellow, green, and blue. Are you just sort of forging inward toward the crystal?
My curiosity about plants has me very interested in the glowing red, green, and blue ones. Can I take a look at those?
Okay, sure. Yeah, you approach the fields. Do you actually step into the plots?
Yes.
Okay. So you begin to sort of traipse through the actual tended garden?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Make a perception check.
If they're like paths, I'm not trying to trample plants. So
Yeah. They're
Okay.
in orderly rows. You can certainly walk in between them.
19.
Okay. You note a few things. One being that your boots, despite the fact that you're gnomish and very small, sink into the loam and they squelch, kind of like
Okay.
with each step. It's very peculiar. You note the smell is sort of tinged with some metallic scent. And the crops all look delightful. They are growing well. And there are little movements off in the distance just beyond your dark vision, where it appears that something is attempting to stay out of your vision.
Okay.
All right.
Did you guys catch that? I don't think we're alone here.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it's a bad thing. Something's far off in the distance. It seems to be moving as I'm moving.
Is it the ceiling?
Well, we've got that too, but no, in this case it's on the ground.
Right.
Oh,
Well,
Mike, you're muted.
Can I see any tracks on the ground that like don't belong to us?
Make a survival check.
11.
The Hawk's low streak continues. You do see a couple tracks, like mechanical tracks. Not in any particular order, or it wasn't a great roll, but you do note some tracks.
So if I stoop down to look at any of these red, green, or blue plants,
Yeah.
can I grab a specimen?
Sure. They appear to be just standard, like if you're in the first track, it's just mushrooms. And these would be just brown mushrooms. It's curious that they would be glowing at all, but you can pluck one.
Okay.
Would you like to make either a nature check or investigation check?
I think nature is probably the more appropriate. 11.
Okay. So a nature check would be like maybe you tear the mushroom open a little bit and look within to see what's giving it this bioluminescence. And you see these small seeds that upon closer inspection appear to be small fragments of metal that glow.
Strangest thing. It's the second example of plant life here that I've seen infused with some kind of metal living essence.
Your hometown's very strange.
This isn't how it normally is. Normally it's a place of happiness and discovery. I wish you'd see it on better terms.
Now it's a living robot.
Not far from the truth. Do your building materials and your metals have anything special in them? Where do you get them from other than your weird powered crystals? I know.
Gabe, can I make a check on this?
Yeah, history check.
Okay.
We'll see what Ren knows.
24.
24, okay. You know that sometimes the materials, especially for homes and other just generic or residential construction, is done with a hard type of mushroom stock that very closely resembles wood. Some of their more serious is, of course, done with the refinery materials, minerals brought out of the mines, but that would just be standard slag and stone construction or brickwork for the more serious things. Like anything in the GCMC is probably made with steel and brick, etc., whereas homes out here would be constructed with that brittle mushroom wood.
Okay. All right. I mean, nothing out of the ordinary.
Well, should we continue on, even with
Yeah.
the spooky silhouette?
Even so, let's stay on guard, though.
All
How's
right.
everyone's well-being after being fried?
I've been sitting better since I had that tentacle attack me as well, but we can press on.
Toward the silos that we see, or now that we're closer, where is that red glow?
The red glow is off in the distance. It's directly in the center of the fields. There is no sign of a silo nearby it. There are silos perhaps on the far end of the fields against the wall lining them, but they're too far off to make out anything other than their silhouettes, especially with dark vision. But that red glow has become quite clear. However, you would have to actually approach it to make a really good discovery of what it is.
Okay.
Ren, you do note that it is at the large well in the center of the gardens. It would be sort of the source of the aqueduct or what they use to irrigate the fields.
Okay. All right.
Perhaps a mile off still.
I guess toward this strange glow. That's in the direction of the well.
Is the light that's giving off? Is giving off this? Was the chasm inside the GCNC the same color?
Similar, but not quite. This is like an angry red or a cranberry, whereas the GCMC is the Brimstink Trench gives off this sort of orange hue of flame or molten
Okay.
lava. But good question.
Let's approach carefully.
Okay. All right. As you do so, you note that in the distance, just beyond your vision, you can still all sense movement. As you get deeper in the fields, you note that it's all around you. Ren, as you walk through the dirt, you feel that mud under your boots sort of kick off in the grass, or not grass, sort of the gravel that is the standard substance of the floor in Gloomlight. And in the distance, you see the well in the central plot of the gardens glows an off-red hue from within, and standing atop it is a vaguely humanoid thrumming crystal. It too appears to be red and glitters from the faux starlight of the gloamlight from above, those blue, greens, and yellows. Several whirring little shovel bots skitter close by, their movements almost seeming hesitant.
Did you say humanoid crystal?
It does appear almost humanoid in shape. It's
Okay.
definitely crystal, but it looks like it's trying to mimic life.
Oh, well, this is one of the strangest things I've seen.
It keeps getting stranger and stranger. Plants with robots, human crystals.
How close are we now?
I would say you're probably 60 feet off.
Okay.
Just far enough to make out that it's like a humanoid shape and it's atop the well. But you'll need to get closer to really make a good decision on what it is.
Okay. Are you guys ready for whatever's next?
Sure.
I think so.
Also,
If
Always
you guys
ready.
can stand back and I can go up and investigate myself because I don't die, I can do that.
Sure, we'll stay just a little bit off.
It's going to be funny when you die for real.
30
Christ.
So can we stay like 30 feet back as Seth goes forward?
Sure.
Okay.
Seth, as you approach the crystal, you note that the shovel bots become adamant. The little receptors, the antennas above their heads, glow red. And now these little bots, they have like one wheel. Actually, you know what? I have a picture of these. Hold, please.
They look like claptrap.
Kind of. Does this work?
Yeah.
So what you're seeing
Guard-
is this.
Is
Go
this
ahead,
garden drippy boy?
That's what I named him. I don't.
I love it so much.
I asked Ash to draw some things for me randomly that may or may not have shown up. So yeah,
That's
you
a
see this.
killer looking robot.
You see this little guy sort of rolling around the crystalline figure, and he's got all sorts of different tools that could be used for gardening on him, and a little spined wheel that he sits atop.
Okay.
is he trippy?
They're with some checks, perhaps.
So they're getting upset that I'm approaching.
They sort of form a line in between you and the crystal.
Ooh.
And they look agitated, like the movements are sort of jerky, and they spin towards you and then stop, like they're trying to say, like, come at me, bro, but in robot.
How big are they?
They're like a foot off the ground, maybe.
Oh,
No more pets, Ash.
Something tells me we should destroy that energy source. I think it might be either powering these creatures, powering the tentacles, or powering the wall to the GCMC. All of those are bad.
So you want to destroy the crystal? Just give me the word. I've got a lightning bolt in my back pocket.
Seth is 30 feet away. I like the idea that you guys are. You want me to destroy the crystal?
I'm also standing at like an angle to him too. I'm not like right behind him in a straight line. Just adding that in there.
Yeah, you guys. Oof. Drea wants to defend the bots. Oh, Seth's trying to destroy everything.
How many bots are there in a line right now? Oh, just 3? Okay. Hold on. I might have an idea of how to get past this. I am going to use 2 sorcery points and cast darkness.
Okay.
So I can see in the magical darkness, but nothing else can,
Okay.
supposedly. And I'm just gonna kind of walk around them, then go up to the crystal, look at it.
Okay. All of these bots begin to go like into alarm mode. They start spinning around and like swinging their little their hose and their rakes in every which way directions. And you hear like angry whines, like. "Ah!" I'm going to give them. So you're just walking past, and you note that they are taking sort of defensive action. Are you actively trying to circumvent them widely?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want like a stealth check from me or something? Or
No.
Alright.
No. They all roll very, very. I gave them all disadvantage on attacks. They're sort of just like they fly toward the last known place that you were in, and then start swinging wildly. In fact, they mostly just hit each other, and you hear like clanging, and you see sparks shining out as hose and rakes start to slash into other mechanical things. You know.
Yeah.
But you easily walk past them.
Okay. I will approach the crystal then and make a investigation check.
Okay. Investigation. So that would be like investigating what the crystal is, where it's located, things it's touching.
Okay. Yeah, I'll
Or
do
do you-
that.
Because if it's just like if you want to know like physical attributes of it, the things that you can see, that's your investigation. If you want to know like the nature of the crystal, you have
It's
to
a nature
roll.
check.
Yeah, or if you want to know arcana, if you want to know anything magical.
Okay. I'll do.
Do an animal handling check.
The bots begin to ride the staff.
Could I roll a persuasion check to persuade it to kill itself?
Yes.
Let's do nature first.
Okay. You roll your nature check.
14.
Okay. You have never seen the likes of this crystal before in your life. Describe for me how you are inspecting it. Are you touching it? Because that will yield information that you won't get if you don't touch it. It's
Yeah. Knowing Seth, thinking he's immortal, he would be touching it. He doesn't
Okay.
care.
He would be licking it. Are you kidding? Okay. This giant lollipop is delicious. Yeah, so Seth reaches out, and you actually feel that the crystal isn't completely hard. It's almost like a melty lollipop. Like there's like a slickness to it where your fingers can actually find purchase and push inward.
Okay.
And you see that it goes down into the well. But you didn't do an investigation check, so that's for something else. What you do know about the nature of this is it appears to be irradiated, or something about it is seeping into the lands around you, or drawing from the lands around you.
Okay.
It appears to be a power source for sure.
All right.
What it's gaining power from remains to be seen.
And you said it's going down the well?
It appears to be going down the well, but it also appears to be in the earth. Now, but you made a nature check, and time is of the essence here, because what you don't see is in the distance of your dark vision where all those other bots were assembling, and they begin to charge.
Okay.
Whirring out of your range, like inward. We're talking 20, 30 bots. Just
All right. Well, if I know this is like the thing's happening now. Like they're coming.
yeah, they're coming. You also have seen how ineffective they are in some ways.
Okay. I am going to just ease back out
Okay.
and back away.
Okay, so you just dart around the darkness, around the bots that are destroying each other, or have probably already destroyed each other by now.
Yeah.
Okay, and you head back to the party.
Yes.
Okay. The party, if you have seen this, you saw the darkness appear. You didn't really see what Scott was doing, but Scott, if the darkness is a 1 minute, or is it 10?
10.
Okay, so the darkness is probably still there for a little bit. You did inspect, and that took a couple minutes. You circumvented them, maybe that took a minute. It still has maybe half of its duration left, so the darkness is up if you want to leave it. But Seth does return to the party, and the bots do not appear to approach the party.
Seth, what did you learn?
Well, I learned the crystal's very large, it's made of jello, and it goes down into the earth. And it may either be supplying power, or maybe drawing power from said earth.
You touched it?
I did. It was very gooey and sticky, like everything here.
Ugh.
Are you okay?
I feel good. It was very stress relieving. I just squeezed it.
Perhaps
Anyway.
we could remove it from its source then, rather than just simply destroying it. What if we were to pull it from its anchor?
I mean, it's possible, but it also seemed as if it was embedded into the well and rooted into the ground. So getting it out would take a lot of muscle.
Do you remember seeing any kind of tendrils going into the earth or anything?
Nature check,
Oh.
not investigation.
Okay.
If we're gonna do anything further, we should probably try and eliminate these swarm of bots first and get some peace.
Before we go murdering all the things, they aren't hostile yet. Should we try and do they have any sort of communication that you know of, Ren?
Is there some kind of robo programmer language?
Make a gnomish tinkering history check with advantage, Ren.
Yeah, does Ren know JavaScript?
22.
Ren begins.
22.
22, okay. You think that there is a way to communicate with them. However, you've never seen this red antenna on any of these bots before. It appears some sort of default, perhaps a glitch or corruption has occurred. And
Okay.
whatever's going on there, you know they're not super sophisticated, and in fact they're partially magical. This isn't so much pure technology, it's not like they have actual programming, but more
Yeah.
like it's the marriage of technology and magic. So you think perhaps there would be a way to scramble that connection to whatever is corrupting them through magical interference?
Is
Okay.
the red light coming off them, is it that same cranberry red?
It is.
Guys, I think I might have figured it out. I think this crystal may be powering these little abominations.
Well,
So we destroy the crystal and then we're out of harm.
Again, I've got a lightning bolt in my back pocket. 100 feet.
that worked so well the last time you tried it.
It works half of the time, all the time.
You hear Bookworm like,
Not again.
Well, if you feel confident about it, Seth, why don't you walk that way, away from us, and give it a try?
Sure. All right. My darkness is still up, right?
sure.
Sure. Okay. And are all the bots like kind of in front of it still?
They're circled. They're in a big circle around the crystal.
Big circle.
Mhm.
Okay.
So you'd be able to hit a good chunk of them, like 20% of them maybe.
Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna cast this at level 4 from like 80 feet away. Try and take out some of them, and try and take out the crystal.
And the crystal, okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right, if you shoot the crystal, you've got to go through the line of bots. You only hit like 3 of them, or 4. You hit like 2 and 2 on the far ends, and the crystal in the middle.
That's fine.
Okay.
Main thing is I want to hit the crystal. If I can take a couple bots out, so be it.
Okay. Roll your damage. And how close are you to the party?
I'm 80 feet back from the crystal, so
Okay.
I don't know.
So
I guess.
there's a large circular clearing around the crystal.
Uh-huh.
And then arcing out from there are plots that sort of encircle it. Are you in a plot of land, like a crop plot, or are you in the pathways between it?
Crop lot.
You're in the... Okay, so you squelch your way out feeling that same telltale...
Alright. So... Second. $39 lightning damage.
39 lightning damage. Okay. So, Seth, your lightning bolt arcs out straight, searing blue light across the dark chamber, the chasm cavern. 4 of the bots explode in this sort of violent explosion of just orange, etc. However, you also see something else sort of shower down around. You hear the metallic bits of them sort of clamoring to the ground in the gravel, but you also hear a slight showering of viscera, which you didn't expect. The crystal takes the blast. However, the lightning is captured within it, but it doesn't fire it back. You see the blue coalesce and spread out into the red, turning a violet as it absorbs this particular brand of energy and adapts. You see tendrils scouring the earth, entering those plots and crops around you. It's almost like a system of veins. It's like it's pumping blood and lightning outward into the fields. The fields light up with bioluminescence, and as you look down, you see that light is actually pouring out of the earth below you. Except it wasn't earth. Ren failed to look down, but you realize you're standing in the center of a mass burial site of flesh that was stripped from bone, as it begins to turn blue with the lightning. And that's where we will take our break.
Of course.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Seth, you see that the earth, or what you believe to be earth below you, illuminate with blue electricity that you had fired off into the crystal. However, it doesn't shock you. Amazingly enough, Gabe is resisting the urge to kill you for firing off energy at everything you encounter. Instead, you see that the alarm bots are also pinging that same violet hue that the crystal has turned. However, they do not move toward you. They instead tighten their ranks around the crystal.
Okay. So did it stay blue, or is it turning back to red again?
Nope, it's now violet. It's mixed the red and the blue, sort of a purplish.
Okay. And the ground underneath it are human bodies.
Not human bodies, but you note that it's like ground meat.
Okay.
Like it's earth, loamy earth meat. Earth
So
meat.
I'm on top of a hamburger.
Yeah, a gnomish hamburger.
Okay.
And in my notes, I call this place the Flesh Fields.
I cry.
That you guys have just been traipsing through as I keep giving you hints about it, but you don't look down.
Okay. I'll kind of back up to the party. Well, I changed the color of the robot's antenna and the crystal. By the way, Ren, I found the rest of the citizen.
What?
I found the rest of the citizens. They are ground up and underneath us.
I will look down and see something similar, and I am mortified. This may be the other part of those clean bones we saw back in the apartment district.
That seems to be in sync with this crystal.
And it makes sense that the same robots are here as we saw there as well.
think this crystal needs to be destroyed by more physical means, perhaps. The lightning
This is all
didn't seem to
for-
harm it.
Yeah. In fact, well, actually, we can't see because that darkness is still up, Seth.
Yeah,
So we don't know.
I think it dropped by now. It was only 10 minutes, and even then it's concentration. I cast a spell.
We
Okay.
did cast another concentration spell, so it's
Oh,
technically still okay.
that's true.
I was just assuming he was
Nice.
using it to cover his pooping habits.
Yeah, Ren, I also took a mean dump. So talk, write that down.
Meanwhile, Bookworm approaches Kevin and he tugs on your sleeve, Kevin.
Hi.
Hi, Kevin.
Look!
Kevin looks.
The sky has turned purple.
Sky's purple.
All the greens, yellows, and blues have become that violet.
Guys, the sky has become purple.
I think it's learning based on the energies that it sees. And I think everything here is connected.
I think I had mentioned the crystal wasn't hard, it was soft, it was almost organic. This may be the heart. Or at least one of them.
Well, getting through a few robots maybe isn't the worst thing if we can get up close and find some way to deactivate it. I know it's going to try to protect itself.
I think we're gonna have to fight our way through so we can get a better look. Ren, do you got a fireball in your back pocket?
I do.
Well, why don't you get rid of the trash?
We can see the little robots, right?
Mhm.
And they all turn the same color of the.
They're all their antennae are violet.
Okay.
But they're still acting the same.
They're still just in a tight ring around. There's only 26 of them now, but yeah.
Kevin doesn't know
Tight
what to
ring.
do with that information.
Perhaps before we start throwing fire at it is changed color and absorbing energy. Is there any kind of other energy that is not so potent that we can test?
Well, yes. There's poison. There's force. There's, psychic. There's acid.
Do you have access to any of those?
I do.
At the
I can
moment?
use
Ooh.
any kind of energy.
Well, I think force might be good. Something of a physical nature.
But I
Maybe
wonder
just
if it'll just absorb and learn in the same way that it just adapted to the lightning.
That seemed to be more of an electrical thing. It seems that perhaps maybe similar to the tentacle that these things feed from each other.
We could try force.
I could try radiant damage.
Something tells me it'll learn from that as well.
Okay.
What about necrotic?
I'm afraid to have it learn from force damage.
Do you want me to throw either a psychic or necrotic spell on it to see if that'll change it also?
I just want to get up close and examine this thing, and I'll just cast a fireball, and I want to just knock out as many robots as I can without any of it targeting the crystal. So just kind of adjusting the radius, if that's possible.
You can probably hit another. You can probably hit 6 of them then. That'll knock it down to 20 bots remaining. Launch that fireball out and it just explodes. And again, you see that the fire. However, this time something sort of starts to shower down around the party after you do this. Mechanical bits for sure, but it's also, you swear it's like rain. First it's just a drop, and then another. Then it begins to pour.
Does it hurt?
No.
Oh.
But it's slick
Can we
And
look
it-
up
Oh, you can.
and make sure there's no tentacles coming to grab us?
Make a perception check, Drea.
20. 14.
14. Is this the right song?
Have you guys seen Annihilation?
I watched that last weekend, Bryce.
Did you?
It inspired this whole
Fantastic.
game.
It inspired a few things, yeah. It was good. I remember
Yeah.
you telling me that you really enjoyed it, and I saw it on Prime the other day, and I was like, I'm gonna watch this movie.
Very cool. Yeah.
Drea, you look up into the sky. Thick globules of what you thought to be underground rain drip onto your face. You swipe a finger, and you realize it's blood.
Raining blood.
Can I
Through a lacerated sky.
Drea?
go for it?
No, what were you gonna say?
Can I see anything that would be emitting drops of blood? Possibly moving? Possibly a big, thick, squirming tentacle?
You don't see any tentacles. But what you see is even worse. That violet begins to thrum. You see arcs and a flash and flicker.
Guys, time to
Then-
leave.
You see lightning
Yeah, okay.
as it has learned. I would like dexterity saving throws from the entire party as an underground storm begins to attempt to rail you with lightning.
17 for Kevin.
12.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my inspo.
Okay.
15.
Okay.
7.
Actually, sorry, 16.
Dexterity saving throw.
17.
17. Okay. The DC was 15.
Hey!
So if you meet it, you beat it. Doc, in particular. It is 14 lightning damage. If you saved, it is halved.
Can I use my shield master feat to take none since it was a dex save? That I succeeded on.
Sure, man. Yeah, Doc, you just bring that shield up just in the nick of time as it lances off to the front of it. The rest of you that you may take damage, you note Bookworm. I actually have to look up his health.
No!
Bookworm's having a rough time with this party.
Is it possible to say that I could take his damage if he was close by?
No, unfortunately. He does, however, have 45 health, so he's still up. Oh, well, he has 45 total health, but he took damage before and he took damage again now. He's not great, but he did make that save. He darts out of the way, he takes the damage. He's probably bloodied, but he's alive, Drea. The bots now form a line in front of you and begin to inch toward you. And
Can I
those
cast Cure Wounds and Healing Word on myself?
Sure, you can all take an action if you would like. The bots aren't going to make it to you and start attacking or anything. They're just inching towards you, sort of ominously. Those violet antennae are now sparking with electricity, illuminating their chassis and their forms. And you realize indeed that there are bits of flesh, it looks like from the flesh fields, that sort of is grown into the gears and is wriggling and moving as the lightning provokes it, feeding it.
Ew. Are they in a straight line?
Straight-ish, yeah.
Get a width of their travel distance idea.
Let's say they're 30 feet away from you,
Okay.
and they're in a staggered 10-foot line, so 5 to 10 feet, like 2 squares of movement.
Okay. I'll cast Moonbeam right in the
Okay, it's-
front of it so that they'll come
it's like
towards it.
It's like a horizontal line towards you. They're moving towards you like a wall, not like
okay.
single file.
That would have been really nice.
Yeah. I mean, you could dart off to the side and try and drag it through a few.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, it does put you a good distance away from the party though.
I'll a little bit, yeah, a little bit away from the party.
Okay, we'll say it's a full turn of movement, so 25 feet for you.
Yep.
And you can drop that moonbeam, and you can delete another 4 of them, bringing us down to 16.
Okay.
And then every turn you'll have to keep moving them.
Yeah.
However, this time, as that moonbeam crashes down and incinerates a few of them, sending parts spiraling and bits of flesh out, you note that there's this hazardous cloud, this nimbus of electricity that just arcs out in every direction.
Watch out!
Okay.
That's all I got.
What animals? I'm not calling for initiative, but I'll wait and see if anyone wants to do anything. You guys can tell me if you're looking to continue trying to kill them, if you want to retreat.
I think we need to destroy that crystal.
I think so too. It seems to be interconnected with everything.
I think you should try one of those necrotic or force spells.
Red.
Ren
What's
has
the
used an action, just as a heads up.
Okay.
You're still welcome to talk to the party. You just can't cast a spell until we get to the next round, basically.
Do you want to
Okay.
try force spell? Do you want me to try necrotic spell? What do you want to do? You're the smart one.
I just think we need to defend against these robots. I'd really like to get closer without destroying that crystal just yet. It's not just a matter of destroying it. You might try force damage, though. I think that might be the purest thing. I doubt necrotic damage would do much, but that's just a guess.
Does necrotic
Alright.
damage even work on mechanical anything? I mean, you might get the little fleshy
I don't
bits,
know.
but I'm pretty sure that machines have resistance or immunity to necrotic damage.
Yeah, a lot of times. All right, Seth, you can try the force.
Oh, well, I don't have force.
Oh,
I'm saying you.
all right. Well, I have to wait. I can't yet.
How far away am I?
40 feet. 30 feet from the line of robots, 10 feet beyond that to the crystal.
Can I cut in at a diagonal to throw a javelin right at the crystal?
Sure. I mean, you could throw a javelin from right here if you wanted to.
I think I'm at disadvantage at that
Okay.
distance.
You're
So.
going to run forward a little bit. Just keep track of how close you are to the robots.
Okay. Let me see what the distance on that is. Yeah, I'd have to get within 30 feet, so I'll cut like a diagonal to get within that 30 feet range of it. So I'd probably be like, what, 10 feet away from the robots then?
You just run 10 feet forward. Yeah. 20 feet forward. Throw your javelin and run 10 feet back if you want.
Okay, that's perfect.
Make an attack roll.
14.
All right, the javelin flies forth, slants off the side.
Ah,
Fortunately, not quite breaking its AC.
Another.
Okay.
Oh, same roll, so no.
You hit it in the exact same spot, and it slants off, splitting the other javelin.
Coming back.
Can I just look at Falk and look through the thing and be like, hey, not a bad idea, and just do the same thing, but with
Okay.
this?
All right. Trey runs
Yeah.
forward. Throws a javelin?
A sword?
Okay, you're throwing a sword.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't have any javelins.
are you throwing it like overhand, or are you kind of like through the side?
Softball pitch.
I'm gonna
Or
try
like an angle, kind of?
as much as possible. So just
So overhead, like woof, 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 like revolving.
straight. No.
Straight. Okay, like a sword javelin. Okay. Make your attack roll.
Mhm.
Easy. 19?
19 will hit.
Oh, I don't know where my dice are. Where is all my things?
The sword pierces the jelly-like hard surface of the crystal.
That is 9 damage.
9 damage. Okay.
Is
The
there
blade
any,
is.
is there any observable effect or reaction to that?
Not discernible from this point. If you wanted to, you could attempt to possess this target.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Heck yeah.
All right.
I didn't realize it was, I thought it was just jelly goo.
Technically, so is your brother right now, right? Got a jelly goo bro.
Can we add a crystal to Drea's menagerie?
Oh my god.
He's gonna just be walking around with 17 NPCs like crawling amongst her.
Just dragging a sack of NPCs.
The Pied Piper.
Yeah.
What am I doing? Charisma against you?
Yeah.
That is... I'm blind. It was a natural 18, so...
Okay. Drea.
The silence is more scary.
The
Oh, like
Doom soundtrack just comes in.
You have possessed some form of node that's linking everything in Gloamlight. You feel the network of a foreign entity spreading out from your mind. You see almost like synapses, like lights dancing the distance along the ceiling of the cavern, outward, stretching down below into the earth. You see a network of veins spreading out underneath your party. And this is just one such network. As you gaze out across all of Gloamlight, you see another deep under the shelf, that Brimsink trench, shining down from the GCMC brightly. You see another from the refinery, off in the distance to the northwest. And lastly, you deign to look up. And as you do, you realize the ceiling is just blinding light of energy and life. You can let your mind wander a little bit, and as it does so, it's like transmitting through some sort of neural network. It's like you fly in the instant of a moment, in the span of a breath, you were there. Gazing across the ceiling, you see a field of what you all had thought were lights from mushrooms and bioluminescent plant life. Instead, you see fields of sacs growing, life forms within them, mechanical tendrils reeling and writhing through them, giving off various lights as they drain the life force from these humanoid creatures that are just fields upon fields hanging from the ceiling. And at the direct center, there's a large eye, and it fixes you. And it says, "What makes you happy, Drea?" Do you choose to answer it?
I'm gonna look it dead in the eye as whatever form of spirit or soul I am in that network, and I'm going to say nothing anymore. And then I'm gonna try to attempt to kill myself in that form of the weird gooey network that I am.
Okay. So you want to sort of self-destruct that
If
node?
I can. Yes.
Okay.
Or at least attempt to do a bunch of damage.
Yeah. Let's see. Go figure. The book, the DMG doesn't provide me with rules on this.
It'd be a Constitution DC or something.
Yeah, we could do Constitution. I'm tempted to make it like a contest. Like you've taken over a portion of its will, so I'll say it's a possibility that you can pull this off. But it's fighting you for control from remote sources. Like you've taken control of one part, so you can commune with it. Yes.
Can you repeat the nodes before? You said they were kind of like distinct networks.
Yeah. So
there was the ceiling, the mines.
The ceiling is just like completely what you imagine would be in the future of what this is. Like this is perhaps a nascent form of that. But yeah, there was a node that you found, or Drea can see, and she can tell you this later, to the northwest, to the south, centrally, and one here.
Okay.
In my description, I kind of said where they were. I probably shouldn't have, but... all right, Drea. We're going to do we'll do a series of death saves.
Ooh, okay.
So it's just going to be flat D20s in 3 rounds. So 3 contests in a row. Flat D20s. 11.
Am I rolling against you?
Yep, roll against me in a contest.
I don't know if I'm supposed to be rolling high or low, but I got a nat 20.
Nat 20.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's 2 successes. Technically, that would restore you to 1 health. I want you to win because it's a contest. So I did not get a nat 20. So 2 fails. So 1 more roll since you succeeded with a nat 20.
Okay. 10.
8.
Oh! Ooh.
Nope, I want something a little bit more.
Ominous.
Morpheus.
Bear with me while I attempt to find a song that I did not have prepared for the... What do they call that when it's like massive cell death?
Apoptosis.
Someone paid attention in their biology
I was
class.
thinking that, but that's not massive per se.
No, it's just one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe some kind of metastasis or something.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you could have I guess you could have like a series of apoptoses occurring.
Okay. Well, Drea flings her sword through the air, and the party just witnesses the sword slam into it. And suddenly, after a brief moment of Drea standing there still, looking forward, you see those veins that had run underneath the ground and spread out underneath the crops. You see them turn black. And the crops' lights die. And everything in the vicinity of this region wilts and withers. The bots come to rest 10 feet in front of the party. And you have succeeded in slaying this node.
Whoa.
New strats confirmed. Just
Well, shit.
Drea is Neo.
We're getting all sorts of pop culture references in this.
That's what I'm thinking. Like when you're describing all these growing things in the ceiling, it just makes me think of like the fields of all the body pods and the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought of Osmosis Jones.
underrated film. Even more
thinking about Care
underrated
Bears.
TV series.
Just think about My Little Pony.
Wow.
All right.
We just killed the super gore nest. That's what just happened.
One.
So yes, all of the lights in this area fade. The bots have just come to a stop. The crystal dies, turns black. But you do see that blue light energy sort of continues arcing outward towards other sectors of Gloamlight. It does not stop here. The lightning in the sky, that raining blood, still continues. Whatever this was doing, it appears to have been feeding the ceiling. So it still has the blood of the gnomish folk and lightning now running through it. It still is violet in the ceiling, and occasionally these arcs of vicious purple lightning slam down into the earth, making you
Making a.
I'm just waiting for. I just want it to happen one time.
Any second.
Damn it.
No, that's much less happy, Gabe.
Yeah.
What was the last thing you heard?
Making a. Lightning hitting the
arcs.
ground, making a.
Making you feel a little bit less easy about your travel through Gloamlight. However, I would like perception checks from all of you.
Oh my god, I can't win today.
Ew.
5.
12.
Roll a 1.
4.
You rolled a 1? I rolled a 1 also.
Hey, gnome friends.
The highest roll was what, a 12? Usually I can rely on one of you getting like a decent roll, but
Sorry.
no, that's okay. That's okay.
Hey, it was above half, alright?
Not a good dice day. Time to swap out.
Get a dice prison, or better yet, put them in the microwave and teach them a lesson.
Hopefully they're not the metal
Don't destroy your
kind.
microwave.
They tried that in Kick-Ass as an interrogation technique, and the guy just exploded, so I don't know.
That's how you supercharge your dice.
Yeah.
Bryce is doing it right, folks. This is my
I have
third
metal dice,
microwave
so it
this
works
year.
really well.
Put that one away.
So, wow, we really got sidetracked there. I forgot what I was going to say.
Perception checks.
Yeah, I know I did that.
We don't perceive.
Lightning hitting the
No.
ground.
It's raining blood from a lashing guy.
Bleeding its horror.
No, it's something that you haven't seen yet, or I wouldn't have called for a perception check. But no, you guys didn't quite hit the DC.
Okay.
We didn't see
All right.
anything.
Nope. What would the party like to do?
Drea, I don't know what you did back there, but it worked.
Gabe, is there any negative effect to doing what dumb thing I just did?
We'll see.
AKA self-destructing. We'll see. All right.
Have you summoned the blade back to your body yet?
No, I'm a little shell-shocked.
Okay.
Drea is sort of just standing in place and reeling from what she just felt, and turns to Ren and is like, I did a very bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like it was a good thing, but what do you mean?
We are not alone. There are others very, very big. This entire place is. What happened here, Ren?
I'm still trying to figure out the same thing myself. None of this was here when I was here last. But there's some kind of presence here seeping in everything.
There's multiple.
What do you mean?
There's something that is talking for them. All of them. The ceiling is ablaze, and I am not okay with being inside of that thing. We should leave. It's the raining blood, and it's icky, and I want to.
Did you talk to anything?
Yes.
Mike, can you mute yourself just a little loud? What did it say?
It asked me what made me happy. I assume this is your Tantalus.
Yeah, that's the same question I was asked.
Then it only wants one thing from us. Answers. And the same ones.
It's somehow using that as a fuel or a way to get to you. I don't know. So this crystal's dead. As long as Dre is okay, can I go up to the dead crystal and look at it?
Sure. Yeah, you can approach the crystal. Drea's sword is still sticking out of it.
Okay. Can I pull her sword out?
Sure. All right. Ren, you grab Dre's sword and pull it out. You are immediately reduced to 0 hit points.
All right.
You fall to the ground. The sword clamors beside you.
Dre, what did you do?
I didn't do it. It wasn't.
I run over and just flip Ren's body onto his back.
Ren,
Try to-
I would like a death saving throw, and Thok, you can make a medicine check as well.
Before Thok. God damn, he's gonna diagnose it with constipation again. That's what's gonna happen.
Has not pooped in some time.
roll a 5.
I hate everything.
Oh my god.
This moment.
I haven't rolled better. I think the highest natural number I had on the dice was an 8 so far.
Ooh.
Ren.
1 death fail.
Okay. And Thok, you were unsuccessful in resuscitating him.
Mm-hmm.
Ren, I would like another death save, and someone else can attempt to help or heal.
Hi.
Okay. 1 success.
Okay.
Got a berry.
All right. Kevin rushes over and thrusts a berry into your mouth.
Can I try and walk over and make sure nobody touches me, the sword, and try to figure out what's going on with my physical body? Like,
Sure.
look at it, and I don't know if that's an Arcana check or what, but
I'm not sure either. Yeah, so make a medicine check on yourself,
okay.
and then you can make an Arcana check on the sword, I guess.
So am I back to 1?
Yeah,
1 health.
Yeah, 1 hit point.
Okay.
13 for that medicine check,
Okay.
Thank you, Kevin.
and 15 for the Arcana.
Okay. Ren, in that brief moment, that span in which you were dead, or unconscious, heading towards the light perhaps, you heard that same voice saying,
Fine, then I will give you darkness and nothing.
but you don't feel like it was meant for you. It's like a message carried along with the blade. As you touched it and you grabbed it, that shock just rushed over you. The death of the crystal, the death of the area, everything dying. You felt the deaths of thousands of gnomes that were pulverized and pulped and put into those fields, just all washed over you, immediately reducing you to 0 health.
Okay.
The berry does bring you back, but I need another wisdom saving throw as you face another madness check.
Oh, yeah. 24.
All right, you succeed. This time again, it's just like you felt 1,000 deaths wash over you. It was like you were experiencing each and every one as you fell in between the span of you falling and hitting the ground.
Okay.
So it was daunting and it was taxing, but you do manage to resist the throes of despair. Drea, you're not entirely sure what's going on. You can still, with your Arcana check, you still feel that magical tether between your physical form and the blade. You don't think you should stray too far away from it. And your body is definitely still kicking, still connected to the sword. You don't think that you or the sword has died. But there was definitely, there was definitely some sort of force, equal and opposite reaction. Whatever you had brought upon yourself and shared with that crystal was then transferred at least to Ren. You do not know if it will continue to transfer anywhere else.
Yikesy doodles. All right. I'm gonna use like a spare cloth or a tabard or something that I can find and wrap it around the handle just to be safe and sheet it.
Okay. You may do so.
Ren, are you okay?
That was unlike anything I've ever experienced. I felt so much pain, so much death all at once.
Yeah.
And a message that said something like, fine, then I'll give you exactly what you wanted. Kevin, thank you. That was a close one.
I think it's a safe bet to go back to the residential districts. Take a rest.
Anything to get out of this blood rain.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still so curious about this crystal, though, but can someone else touch it?
Can I try to see if I can maneuver it like out of the holder that it's in?
Sure. So it's growing out of the well, like it's
Yeah.
burst up from the well. So you're just trying to like push it, like.
Yeah.
Okay. As you do so, you feel the stickiness sort of slithering over your fingers as you push and press against it. It doesn't give, but you note something from below. As you push and push, slick tendrils underneath fall loose. Almost like tiny versions of the tentacles you've seen coming from the ceiling. But they fall just flaccid against the inside of the well wall.
It seems like everything here is connected.
Oh no, yes, it is very much so.
Yeah, we figured that out like 20 minutes ago.
Well,
Something runs beneath the lands, and fuck, you can see that now.
yeah, since using the life force of these dead gnomes.
Fuck, you do note that it is both leathery flesh and also reticulated bindings. It is both mechanical and flesh.
Okay, I related it to the party.
I wonder if there are more of these spread around somewhere.
The crystal thing is.
Yeah.
There are. What was it? The north, the northeast, the south? Sure.
I think I said northwest.
South and the central.
Yeah, so northwest and south, and then where you were. And I did say the GCMC. But that's kind of been a goal of yours as a party for a while, so I wasn't too worried about that one.
Maybe we have to take these crystals down to reduce the power to get us into the GCMC. If anything, at least we know these are part of the living energy here, feeding off this land, feeding off dead gnomes.
Well, why don't we head back to the residential district, take a rest, compose ourselves, then maybe try the GCNC again.
I don't think it'd be wise to try it again. We might as well go to one of the other areas that we know there's a crystal.
I'm with Thok here. I think there might be more urgent needs. We just may be up against the same electrical wall and nothing to be done.
Fair. Well, let us get out of this blood rain first. Get somewhere with a roof.
Okay.
How heavy is the blood rain?
I mean,
Are we just sitting here drenched?
Yeah, you guys are pretty drenched at this point. I mean, it's like a light drizzle, but it's blood, so it's icky.
Yeah. Gross.
Yeah, gross.
So, what's in the direction of the northwest?
The refinery.
Okay.
It's the mining caves, right?
The mining caves are beyond the refinery.
Okay.
They are two separate things.
Okay. Are we somewhat close to the mushroom towers or any kind of shelter?
You're an hour and a half away from the residential, like the mushroom district. Probably an hour and a half away from the refinery as well if you were to travel directly to the northwest. So it's kind of like a even split either direction.
Okay. Maybe we should just make our way to the refinery and just find a place to rest along the way. No point going out of our way just to stop.
So, sounds like a wise idea. Good to have you back from the dead, Ren.
Oh, it's good to be back. I'm not sure how much back from the dead I am, but I'll do my best.
I think the sooner we get this done, the better. Keep succumbing to madness, dying, coming back. I'm sure at least the last 24 hours has been hectic.
Yeah, I agree. It's trying.
As you're all discussing this, you realize that perception check you failed. A thick tendril has uncoiled itself from the ceiling. No. Seth, you feel something behind you. A breathing. Something seeking you out. Slithering its way through your number. Blind, milky eyes peering out, covered in the blood that's raining down from the ceiling. Electrified scales gleaming, running up its length all the way to the ceiling. I would like stealth checks from the party.
I have to roll my disadvantage too.
A tongue slithers out and tries to taste the air.
What's the disadvantage for?
Flesh.
Heavy armor.
That's me too.
16.
6.
19.
12.
6.
Okay.
On both dice.
You need new dice.
Seth. First, that tongue that slithered out. It's licking the air, trying to differentiate in its blind sense where your number is. The tongue slithers over top Kevin, missing his head by an inch. Down to the ground, and past Drea, who stands deathly still. Ren holds his breath as it inches around him, serpentine. And then it connects with your foot, Seth. Wriggles tight. I need a dexterity saving throw as it attempts to yank you up.
12.
Seth disappears from the party's number as he's yanked up into the bloodstorm.
Don't worry, I'll be back.
You can't die anyway. Quick, let's move now.
Thok, you also rolled a 6. A second tongue slaps against your back, wriggling around your torso. You need a dexterity saving throw.
Would this count as an effect that I can see?
This is not something you can block with your shield.
That's all I was asking. Let me get a whole new set of dice out of my drawer here.
Please don't use the same dice right now.
The black and gray have been serving me well here. Like, find a colored set. Hang on. I don't mean to stall, but...
Nope, we gotta swap out the bad juju bees.
Alright, I got some green ones here.
The same people who got abducted by the tentacles before are getting into
People are gonna start assuming things.
Yeah, we're getting Abby Dabby.
No.
That's an 8.
Michael, no!
No!
Just a rough day.
Thok is yanked up into the bloodstorm.
Fuck me too.
Oh my gosh.
All right. What would the party that's not being yanked up into the maelstrom of blood and lightning like?
Shit, we lost them again.
Can I see which direction they're being pulled at all?
You can make a perception check with disadvantage since it's a storm. It's obscured vision.
Very bad.
Okay. You do not see which direction they're taken in.
Okay. Well, they might be taken back to those pens that we took them to before. Did anyone get a look at what? Was this just another tentacle? This place is trying to eat us alive.
Was tonguey.
Yes, quite literally.
I don't know whether we continue on or find shelter or seek them out. There's even no direction to seek.
We could go back to where we started.
Can I turn to Bookworm and ask him, Bookworm, is this the same place you were dropped at in these weird big silo things off in the distance?
No, it wasn't like this.
Mm,
It was just one big building.
is that the GCMC?
No, that's where I came from. I don't know where they took me.
Is this like a could this be a refinery?
Yeah, maybe. I didn't get inside of it though, because I grabbed the edge, and before I could get sucked down into the dark pit with the gnashing of teeth, I climbed out.
Do you remember seeing anything nearby as you were looking?
Yeah, there was a mine, maybe not too far off. It was glowing
Okay.
red, green, and yellow.
Okay. Like Rastafarian colors?
Yes, I don't know what that is, but I like the way you speak, so I'm agreeing with you.
Okay. Okay. It's possible they're being taken to the refinery. I don't know why, but we should really make it there in a hurry.
Yes.
Sounds like Bookworm is saying there's some creature there that I don't know. We should rescue them.
Yep.
Let's go.
Off we go.
All right. So you guys bolt that direction?
Beeline. Yeah.
All right. Is there anything you'd like to do as you're traveling?
Avoid getting yeeted by the tongue tentacles. The tongue tickles.
Tentacles. All right. Very good. What time is it? 9:40. Okay.
Be
All right.
vigilant.
You can certainly try.
Okay.
Okay. Nah. See, that would be faster if we all just get snatched. Okay. So you guys head off to the refinery, to the west, the northwest. The Bloodstorm eventually does fade. It did appear to only be in that section. And you don't necessarily encounter anything else for a little while. The empty space in between the gardens and the pens is uncomfortable and daunting. And occasionally lightning still does strike the ground nearby. However, it's less targeted, less focused. Once in a while, if you are being vigilant, you can see one of those long tendrils with the milky eyes and the gray tongues slither its way down in the darkness and just feel the air and scan for your presence. But it's almost like it's been blinded. Can't quite find you with pinpoint accuracy. And you continue on for a while, until at long last, in front of you, is the refinery, and beyond that in the distance, the glowing of the mines, perhaps another mile past. The abandoned monstrosity of a building looms in the dark distance. A hue of green, red, and blue allows the giant structure's silhouette to stand out, pronounced with the depth of its silence. A large gateway opens into the center of the building's front, its iron-barred entrance lifted open. To the left and right of the front of the building are large circular turrets of smooth stone, arcing upward into the dark of the gloaming. The body looks to be a series of straight planes arching back and around, giving the building an octagonal feel. Large bulbous outcroppings of stone turrets appear to be around the backside of the building as well, at the corners. And opposite the gate, the front gate, so at the very far back end of the building, there is indeed a large stone turret.
Guess we
Sorry, I was just taking notes. Do the turrets look inactive, or is anything moving at all?
The 4 turrets in the corners do appear to be inactive and capped. The one
Okay.
at the back, you would need to perhaps climb. It's pretty high up, like the building's maybe 80 feet tall.
Whoa. Okay. Are there no doors, or there's doors but they're closed?
The iron gate in the front is open.
Okay.
The central iron gate.
I don't imagine we could just walk in, but should we try?
Does the ceiling in this area have a specific color to it that we can see?
I would say it's still probably a little bit violet. However, it is restored also to the blue, green, yellow.
Okay.
Can I pick up a rock and chuck it at the fence?
The fence being like a fence.
The iron gate.
The iron gate, yeah, sure. Yeah. The rock arcs off to the distance, clatters into the gate, and falls down harmlessly. You actually
Okay.
hear it thunk against something wood, and you realize that there's a mine cart track that runs into the mouth of the building, and it arcs around the back of the building toward those mines. And you see that there's an overturned mine cart
Okay.
at the mouth of the building.
Shall we go in?
Yeah. You guys go ahead just a few steps. I'm going to keep an eye on these turrets just in case they activate or something.
Yeah, sure. I'll go.
No, when I say turret, I mean like a castle turret, like a turret wall, not necessarily like an embattlement or something.
Okay. I was thinking like automated defenses, like.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. All right. Never mind. I'm with you guys.
Kevin? Just following along?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. To the iron gate and the cart in front of it.
Okay. As you approach the cart, you see a pair of legs sticking out from under it. Long, rotted.
Oh. Can I nudge it with a foot?
As you do so, the foot that you nudge just sort of
Oh.
slides off.
Well, don't touch the gooey things.
Can we pull this cart upright?
Sure.
Ew.
Can I
Do the
try
honors. Yeah. It's not that heavy. I mean, it was meant to be operated by gnomes.
I'll help.
So
Okay.
Ren and Kevin, okay. The two of you pull it over, and it slams home into the cart track behind it, and you unveil a peculiar sight. What looks to be a gnome, once upon a time, clutching a knife in one hand and a hand covered in blood. It looks as though he self-eviscerated himself, and then continued to write with his blood across the cobblestone that was covered by the cart.
What does it say?
It is in Gnomish. Ren, would you like to read it?
Yes.
Do you read it aloud or do you read it privately?
Aloud.
All right. It is surprisingly long for someone who wrote this with the blood of their viscera. And it appears to be tinged with madness, the way that the words are written. I'm going to send it to you so that you can read it.
Okay. Where?
Sorry, in Discord.
Discord.
I haven't messaged you in a while.
It says, the angels came from the heavens, but they did not wield swords. Instead, they held a child by the foot and fed him to the maw of the hells below. With a taste for blood, it came next for us. Fear the machine, fear the beast. Most of all, fear the marriage of man, machine, and monster.
The angel with the sword, that was one of the inscriptions in the bowl of creation.
Mm-hmm. This could be the Dumai.
What?
Instead, they held a child by the foot and fed him to the maw of hells below.
Oh, no.
Could this be the boy?
Tef.
Tef.
Is... That's not to
Bookworm.
dwell on things.
That's the boy that Scott gave.
That...
Bookworm speaks up and says,
I know that name.
You know Teflus.
I don't know him, but I saw him in the memory I stole from Seth.
You stole a memory? That's... What do you...
A secret. I took a secret. I did the same to you.
Right.
What memory?
He was in a garden with a fountain, and he gave the kid to some sort of weird shirtless man that looked like an angel.
We know who this angel is. You're saying he gave it? How can you be sure this memory's accurate?
They've always been accurate before. I can prove it.
and he whispers Dre's secret back to her.
Yeah, no, he's right.
Kevin, it seems you were right not to trust Seth.
Yeah. We should still get Thok, though.
There is a clamoring in the back of the refinery as you see a tentacle drape down from the ceiling and throw two humanoid figures in the back. Thok and Seth, I need dexterity saving throws. And again, this is more for how you fall into what I am about to describe.
10.
19.
All right, Thok, you grab the edge. Seth, you fall directly into the center of the pit, and unfortunately, there's just nothing to grab. A large circular chamber with a slight walkway skirting the outer rim sports a feeble railing on the interior side. Below that walkway, which you're falling into, there's a series of interlocking blade-sharp triangular panels that look more like razored maw than a sealable gate to whatever lies below. The bottom of the pit cannot be seen, just an empty crucible bowl hanging above, tilted despondently upside down at the end of its track, as though its contents had been dumped and its purpose forgotten. Above even that ceiling, the building what appears to have been rent open, large swaths of iron, steel, and stone torn asunder and peeled outward, as if something had leapt out from within. And on the walls of the chamber as you fall in, Seth, you see smeared blood and punctures of something that climbed out as you fall into the darkness below. And well, it's 10.
9:52.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah? You want to keep going?
Are you guys okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Am I also continuing down into the darkness, or?
Nope, you are hanging on the edge.
Ah.
All right. For those of
Can
you
we-
in this chamber, I need you to roll initiative. So Thok and Seth, roll initiative for me. Actually, everyone roll initiative because we're going to have to, instead of exploring this place, as you would have had a chance to do, you're going to end up with a little bit of a complication here.
14.
Okay, hold on. I need my... Where's my notebook?
Michael finally gets the high roll for.
I have the high roll, Anakin.
That was a good one.
hate you.
Gosh dang it! This would be a good day for Thok's bladder book because I'm just in and out. It's like the fifth time.
Those shots.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I need to get the initiatives down. All right. So, Drea, what was yours?
14.
14. Thok?
Go to the chat. 13.
13. Kevin's not here. Seth?
1.
Oh, jeez, man. Ren?
10.
Okay. Okay. Did Kevin put his in?
Yeah, it's 3.
3. Okay. Sweet. All right. Drea, it is your turn. You are standing before the entry. You saw your allies get deposited down in the back. You've just heard this message. You're not entirely certain what lies before you. You know it's a very large building, and you'll have to travel either through it, around it, or over it, to get to see better what happened to them.
Is there a clear exit in the back if I go through? Or if I just look down to where they were deposited generally?
Yeah, you're looking into the chamber, and I'll read the description of what you see. The interior of the refinery is a spacious chamber. 2 pairs of mining cart tracks veer off to the corners of the building, those 2 front turrets. They're mirrored. So one goes to the left and right. They re-emerge at the far side of that turret and then continue inward before dipping back into the farthest most 2 corners at the far end of the main chamber, into those other turrets at the far corners. Aside from the 4 circular turret-like corner chambers, there is some form of square room partitioned off in the center of this massive octagonal room. It had large panes of broken glass, as though whoever sat in it would have once been able to see unobstructed in a 360-degree angle into every other space. At the far end of the chamber in the wall, there's a massive set of iron double doors, and they are closed, and apparently the only doors in the room that you can see from here. But it looks like those would lead into that large silo.
Yeah, I'll go through the building and try to see what's up with the doors.
Okay. Would you like to dash?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Because it's a big building. About 60 feet, so that's 1, 2, 6, so 10 feet a line. So it's 120 feet, so you can dash half of it. You can make it to that partition center. Really lucky that I drew it out for myself.
Okay, that's fine. Can I look around just to see if there's anything of immediate bing pop out to me, controls or something?
There are definitely controls. I would allow you to investigate your next turn if you'd like to use the search action to try and determine what they do.
Okay.
There's also a series of tracks and networks above your head that you'll need to take a better look at if you want. Also,
no,
as you run in the corners, one is dim and you can't see into it. The other 3, one is blue, one is yellow, one is green. This was initially a puzzle room. So you might have some difficulties in getting to your allies. All right. So is that your turn, Drea? That's your action, your movement. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Thok, it is your turn. You were dangling off of the precipice at the very top.
Would it be possible to climb my way over or climb down to the walkway?
You could let yourself drop to the walkway and take some fall damage. You could use a strength athletics check and your action to pull yourself up if you'd like.
Can I perform a strength athletics check with to like throw a piton into the wall and kind of scale down to the walkway?
As long as you're willing to use your action to assemble a piton.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, you don't need to make a check then.
Okay.
But it is your action to actually like go through your pack with one hand as you're dangling. You're the hero of the story. Yeah. And of course there are punctures from whatever climbed its way out. So let's say you find a pre-existing hole to just wedge it in.
Okay.
And you can like put it under your foot, dangle down, hop down, and you do indeed fall all the way down to the rim.
Okay. Is there any like a doorway to walk to from here?
So there is that double iron door that I described to Drea, but you're obviously on the other side of it. You can walk around the entirety of this chamber. It will take probably it's like 60 feet probably again because you're
I'd count those climbing too, going down, right?
technically I would say
Okay.
you can make it halfway, but use your action so I can't let you dash either.
That's fine.
You can make it like halfway around that outer rim.
Sure.
Okay. So you're headed that direction. Is that your turn?
Yeah. I'll just like yell out, "We're in here!"
Okay. It would be audible. The party can hear it. And again, don't forget that crucible, that large sort of tilted over clay bowl is up in the ceiling, tilted over, and it's connected to a railing system that runs through a hole in the
Okay.
ceiling. Or in the wall, rather, back into the main chamber. Ren, it is your turn.
Just for my visual sake, my geography of this place is kind of all off. There's a square building inside an octagonal building.
It's so rough.
Okay. So there's kind of like an entryway. Where do we come in?
You came in at the bottom. You see the mine track?
Yes. Okay.
So the
and
mine
there's
tracks go into the turrets. Here's the yellow crystals. There's the green crystals. It's all backwards for me. Blue, and then nothing. Here's the central partition where Drea is.
Mm-hmm.
There's double irons, and then where Seth is in the maw, the teeth.
In the head of the turtle.
Yeah. It's thinking sad gingerbread man was jumped to mind for me.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I just push the minecart in with me?
Sure.
And then just get about as far in as I can.
Okay. So there's a lever that splits it. You can take it to the right to the yellow or to the left to the green.
I'll take it left to the green.
Okay. So you slam it home and take it over to the left. That's about 30 feet of your movement. And it slides down and it comes to a stop at the base of the stairs. And there is indeed a pile of crystals at the base of this turret.
Okay. Can I put some in the cart?
Sure. So you take a handful of green crystals and put them in the cart?
Yeah.
Okay. That is your action, just as a heads up.
Okay.
And your movement. Is that
Got
what
it.
you'd like to do?
Yep.
Okay.
Can I cover just behind the cart?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
All right. Next turn. That's going to hold its action. Kevin, your turn. You are at the entrance of the refinery.
We'll follow Ren.
Okay. So you just keep up with him, follow him down to the crystal piles.
Yep.
Would you like to use your action for anything?
I'll go ahead and cast. Oh, I can't. I'll just prepare in case I need to, in case things get hectic, to summon Big Kevin.
Okay, sure.
So I'll prepare that action
All right.
and hold it.
Very good. Seth.
Mhm.
It is your turn.
All right.
It is very dark where you have fallen, but you can see in darkness. You feel something pinching you. You also did take some damage from the fall. You fell about 40 feet,
Okay.
so I have to roll some damage for that. 10 falling damage.
Right.
Which is crushing, so you can't get resistance, I think, but... So you take 10 damage. You are at the bottom of a pit. You were staring up. You see Thok successfully drop down onto a ledge. And silence reigns, but something's pinching you from below. It looks like you're seated atop bits of metallic plates and bones.
And how far up is the ledge where Thok is?
We'll say another 20 feet up to that.
That I'd have to climb. Oh boy. So I guess. Is there anything else in the room with me that I could see, or just the plates and bones?
Plates and bones, like metallic plates, bones. The wall is slick with blood.
Okay.
And the ground beneath the various bones and such is like this strange sand. It has like a sulfuric smell to it.
Okay. Could I use a free action to yell to Thok?
Oh yeah, I mean you can speak up to whatever is 6 seconds of speech during your turn. So you can yell up, just like keep it to a sentence or two.
Okay. I'll just say, Thok, I need help. Get me out.
Okay.
And then as my bonus action, I'm going to transfer a level spell slot to my sorcery point.
Okay.
And as my main action, I'm going to cast. I'm going to cast Blink just to try and be out of sight if anything down there with me.
Okay.
Because I don't have much visibility. I disappear.
Okay. Seth disappears. Seth says, "Save me," and then disappears. Alrighty then. Back to the top of the order. Drea.
So before me is a bunch of levers and whatnot.
There are 4 levers before you, and there is a humanoid figure sort of slumped over them.
Can I just nudge him aside with like the blunt end of like a sword and just like off?
Okay, yeah, sure. You nudge him, and as you do, he sort of falls backward, and you note that the bottom half of his jaw is... Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry. I have a picture for what he looks like.
Oh.
Don't give me that. His head appears to have been severed. There's rivulets of blood pouring down his muscled shoulders. He's wearing some sort of uniform, coveralls, thick boots. It looks like he was once a gnome, but his head has been completely cleaved off. And in its place, just rammed onto the top of his neck, the stump, looks like a lantern is in its place. Something like that.
What?
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 All
Those
right.
neck veins.
I know. Okay. So, you nudge him, Drea, and he slides off, but then he catches himself and stands upright. And he turns to you, and the visor on his face falls down and light shines out. You're just gazing into this bright emptiness.
Hello there?
Hello, how may I serve?
Oh, you're okay. Good. I thought you were going to be evil for a second. Maybe still not yet. We need to get through the iron doors.
That command does not compute. I can use the levers and send the crucibles through.
Through where?
He looks up, and the light actually casts out of his face onto those, the railing system above you. And you note that they run in an X pattern to the corners. And they meet in the center right above your head. And then there's 4 rails that run straight through into the chamber that Thok and Seth are now in.
Oh, I hate puzzles, Ren. We're still in initiative, right?
Mm-hmm.
Crap. I'm just gonna shout out to him. There's puzzle things, and I help.
Grab some crystals.
Which ones?
All of them.
Great. Now Kevin is literally going to try and carry tons of crystals.
Kevin will remember that. Might even summon
Okay.
Big Kevin to try and help him carry all the crystals.
Oh my gosh. Can we move the yellow crystals, I guess?
Yes. And yellow is where Ren is, correct?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, we're at green. Sorry.
No, you're at green. Okay, so yellow. The command bot reaches forward, grabs a lever, one of the 4, and cranks it back. And immediately you see that crucible bowl come over and then dip down. And then it dips back up. It's came down, and it's almost like it was waiting for people to shovel things into it, but no one was there.
Ah.
Okay. We need crystals and colors and things.
I don't know how much of this we can fit in a turn, but try the green one.
Can we try the green one, Mr. Lantern Operator?
Your wish is my command. And reaches forward and cranks. And down it comes, the crucible at green.
Can we shovel some crystals on it?
Sure. Well, since initiative here is a little loose, typically this would have been like a more free form moment, but half of your party is dying. So you can shovel some crystals into it, it comes back up, and then it returns to the center.
And now deposit?
Depositing. And it pushes a button. And now that green crucible rocks forward. Thok and Seth. Well, Seth's in a different realm, so Seth doesn't notice it. Or maybe you do. I'm not entirely sure how that works with the ethereal plane. But Thok, you note immediately a bowl comes crashing into that other bowl that's already overturned, and it spins, dumping down green crystals that rain down where Seth would have been.
Does anything seem to happen as they fall?
Not that you can see.
Okay.
And then the bowl returns to the room.
Like it exits the room?
Yeah, it returns back to the command.
Okay.
One of them is just out of order. Like one's broken. And there's the dim corner that appears to be empty. And then the other 3 bowls are operating. Dre, we're going to say that's your turn. Thok,
Yeah.
It is your turn now. You just saw this happen. Steph yelled up to you, but then disappeared.
Okay. I'll just like yell out, that sent a bowl in, and it came and went, so I might rely on that in the future if I can't open these doors. And then I'll keep walking towards the doors and see if I can open them.
Okay. The doors are definitely like sealed shut. Something to do, like corroded iron, the whole works. You shake the doors, they're challenging to open. You think you could probably open them with either a lot of time and tools or with a really, really, really hefty strength athletics check action.
Fuck it, I'll give it a go.
Okay.
I'm already here.
Sure.
19.
All right. You shoulder into the door and it shakes and quakes inward, scattering some rust. You think you can break it, but it didn't do the trick.
Okay.
All right. Is that your turn?
Yeah, I'll probably just give it a go again on the next turn.
Okay. Ren, it is your turn.
Can we take our cart over to the yellow?
Sure. Yeah, so you scoot the cart back to the yellow.
Yeah, and then I'll put some crystals in the cart and I'll call out to Drea to see if they can try the yellow one again.
Do you do it yourself or do you tell him to do it?
I tell Drea.
Dre, do you tell the lantern guy to do it or did you do it?
You're muted.
Muted.
I'll tell him to do it. I'm
Okay.
not touching nothing with the scary lantern man in front of me.
All right. Your wish is my command. And he reaches forward. And again, Ren, it comes down.
Okay, we put some crystals
Shuffle
in.
crystals in. Okay. And then it returns to the central console. Any last command, Ren, before I move on from your turn?
I take cover again.
Okay. All right. So the yellow crystals are hovering over the central partition, and we will move on. Now he held his turn last time, but now something has happened. Green crystals have rained in, and fresh meat hits the nostrils of the beast. The metallic plates at the base of the turret stir, clanking and pulling together. And slowly the sands part as the rest of its body comes up from underneath, and a large pincer reaches out and grasps the crystal and begins to shovel it into a gravelly maw. We are going to share the scene. So, Ben, if you're ready.
Yep.
A large scorpion of metallic armor bursts out from the sands beneath. Seth is fortunately not there yet, but it devours the green crystals, and suddenly the plating in the mouth becomes slick with poison. And it sniffs the air, beginning to climb up toward Thok. And that is where we will end tonight's session.
Oh no!
And now I have to leave this up in my bedroom for a week.
Oh darn.
Did we just feed it energy?
You're not sure what you did.
Okay.
I'm gonna 1v1 this thing.
Yeah. Well, you finally rolled more than a 4. So that's a good sign, I suppose. Oh no.
Okay, I'm gonna
I
have
have-
to share.
I have 1 health.
This was not how I anticipated you guys walking into this fight.
We're all pretty peppered right now. I don't think anyone's.
No one's sitting pretty.
Yep.